Elden Ring is an incredible game, and for this video, we've got a ton of amazing builds for you. We have a Magma Scale Sword build that does massive fire damage and really good magma damage. We've got a Golden Order build, which is really fun, fits all the Golden Order themes as well. This is going to be an excellent one, does a ton of holy damage. Even mastering the Coated Sword, a really fun sword against shields because it can go right through them. And we have a Fire and Frost build that, while impractical, it actually does a lot of damage and it's really fun too. Let's jump into this video. We have 12 amazing builds for you. Let's first start with the Golden Order God build. This uses the Golden Order Greatsword, which does a ton of holy damage and actually has a 2-part Ash of War, and then uses triple Rings of Light. Some other Golden Order incantations we're throwing in here as well. Litany of Proper Death, that one's a little bit hard to use. Discus of Light, I love this one because it's so quick and it actually does a good amount of damage if you land it, especially if you can hit, like in this case, the dragon's head and whatnot. These can stack up real fast because it's very quick. Of course, with the other one, you have a lot more damage as a whole, but it takes a little bit more time. Back to this, though. The Golden Order Greatsword, also pretty good. Fits the theme well, too. This is an entire Golden Order type build. And I end up hitting the wrong button here. There we go. And didn't take him down with that, but it's all right. We're just going to go for a few regular hits and take him down. And there, of course, is the Ash of War. Amazing Ash of War. Does a lot of holy damage. Good for the DLC, by the way. And triple Rings of Light. Discus of Light. This is a really cool Golden Order build. Let's jump into equipment and stats for this one. There's Litany of Proper Death. It's kind of funny, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. Golden Order Greatsword plus 10. Golden Order Seal plus 10. We have that. It has 312 scaling. Godfrey Icon. We have Phlox Canvas Talisman. Sacred Scorpion Charm. We have the Shard of Alexander. For our tiers, we have the Holy Tier, Bloodsucking Correct Tier, Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, Blessing Spoon, Discus of Light, Triple Rings of Light, and Litany of Proper Death. Next up, we have a Samurai 2.0 build. Samurai builds are always requested on my channel very frequently. Decided to do a very optimized one. In this case, we are going to be able to two-hand the weapon. We have it Heavy Affinity, Nagakiba, of course, Blood Flame Blade, and then we get to use Double Slash as well. This is one that's well-rounded, can give you a lot of damage, as well as the two-handed bonus, which is huge as well on Heavy Affinity, because it's not just built around the Ash of War. It's not just built around Double Slash. It's built around your ability to get light and charged hits in as well, and you'll be able to stack up a lot of successive attack damage and have a lot of fun too. The charged hits, light attacks, all that stuff will do good damage. Heavy Affinity really benefits you here with the 1.5 times bonus when you two-hand to your strength stat. And then, of course, for Double Slash, still get decent scaling there, and Heavy Affinity, not going to be too much different from Keen. Keen might be a little better there because the two-handed bonus isn't impacted by Ashes of War. They don't impact Ashes of War, so if you're going to spam the Ash, basically always go for the highest scaling stat. But in this case, we're using light and charge hits as well, and we built around a Samurai completely. We have the Heavy Nagakiba plus 25 with Double Slash. We have any seal for buffs. You can check out the armor set. 38 poise only for this one. I did a Samurai style. Shard of Alexander, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Melissa's Prosthesis, Rod Wing Sword Insignia. For our tiers, we have the Thorny Tier, Bloodsucking Correct Tier, Golden Vow, Flame of Strength, Blessing Spoon, and Blood Flame Blade. And next up on here, we have a Magma Wyrm Scale Sword build. I love this weapon so much. It does a lot of magma damage, so you can boost it with the Talisman of the Dread that will boost the Ash of War, but I love how much physical damage this weapon does as well. When you're using the Ash of War for the Magma Wyrm Scale Sword, it acts differently because there's so much contact with the weapon than things like the Blasphemous Blade. The difference mainly is it's very split 50-50 between your physical damage and your magma damage, fire damage in that case. But overall, kind of similar to the Magma Blades in that sense. It is a lot of fun to use, though, because it has a very good split. Fire damage in general is really good. It does a good amount of poise damage as well. And of course, if you can get bosses to stand in the fire, the damage will just start to stack up. Really fun, by the way. I also have some arcane points in here because the person that requested this wanted the ability to do dragon incantations too. You will be able to do that with these stats. It's optimized for that. Even has a talisman for that as well. Just not really going to pull that out and use that on Godfrey or Horaloo. It's very difficult because those animations are on the longer side. We're on New Game Plus 3, Journey 4 for all this footage, but overall they're a little bit hard to use in this fight specifically. So I chose to stick to the Magma Wyrm Scale Sword. That said, I really do like this weapon. It's really an incredibly fun and enjoyable weapon that I think, for the most part, it really does great damage. Maybe a little underrated. I know it's good for PvP. I don't know if it still is, but it used to be good for PvP. For PvE, it's kind of an underrated weapon. I do find it to be quite good. I actually like this weapon a lot, and I love Strength and Faith in general. Let's jump into equipment. We have the Magma Wyrm Scale Sword plus 10. We have the Godslayer Seal and Dragon Communion Seal. Godslayer Seal is going to give the highest scaling at this level. Shard of Alexander, Fire Scorpion Charm, Talisman of the Dread for the Magma, Roar Medallion for your Dragon Incantations, Flame Tier, Bloodsuck and Crack Tier, Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, Blessings Boon, Dragon Fire. The Magma Breath one would be cool too. And next up here we have a Beast Mode build. This is going to be using Bestial Incantations as well as the Beast Claw Greathammer. It's really built around the weapon, a little bit different from the one I did not too long ago, which was kind of a dual build with the Great Stars. In this case, we're building around the Incantations, as well as specifically Regal Beast Claw, the Ash of War, and pretty much everything to do with the Beast Claw Greathammer, because it does a good amount of poise damage and a good amount of physical damage. This weapon really isn't that bad at all. It's actually pretty good. Honestly, it surprised me in terms of the damage that it did to this rune bear and when testing it. Overall, it's really good also because it's part of that hammer type class in terms of poise damage. You can get a lot of breaks that way. And then we're throwing rocks as well, which is going to do additional poise damage and some good physical damage. I think you guys will really like this one. I want to mention, by the way, if you have any build requests, don't forget to put them in the comments below. I want to hear about them. It's going to be fun doing more of these. I'm going to do a couple more of these for sure before the Tarnished Edition. I mentioned in my last video that I'm taking a little bit of a mini break. Probably post a couple videos, but not like how I was posting. Still, with all that said, it's been fun doing these, so don't forget to comment any if you have any build requests. Been getting to a lot of them, still have a pretty long list, and it's been so much fun making these. These are the most fun videos that I do. They're just really enjoyable. There's so much different stuff in Elden Ring. It really is incredible how many different builds and combinations you can make. Got to take this bear out here, and then we're going to go over equipment and stats. But yeah, I've been shocked by it lately, kind of how much you're able to do with the game in general and how many build combinations there are. It's really, like, it feels like it's endless, honestly. It's been so much fun making all these. It's really just been a cool way of playing the game and learning so much about it as well. Beastclaw, Greathammer, +10, Erdtree Seal. We were supposed to use that as our main one because it has higher scaling. Clawmark Seal in the offhand, 59 poise. Shard of Alexander, we have a Fox Canvas Talisman, Blade of Mercy Talisman, Two-Handed Sword Talisman. For our tiers, we have the Spike Crack tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier, Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection. We have the Bestial Vitality for the healing, and then Stone of Garak I was using, and stats are on the right. And next up here, we have a cool Colossal Fun build. This was requested by a couple different people. It's kind of interesting for this one. A couple different people asked me to kind of make colossal weapons and whatnot, use like maybe one or two of them, and not really build around the Giant Crusher or any of the really common ones. So here we use the Rotten Great Axe as well as the Golem's Halberd for some jump attacks and serious damage with Craigblade. These are going to get you like over 850 AR, I think, a piece of like pure physical damage, and they're going to do a ton of posture damage as well. This is an absolute smasher build that does pretty much all physical damage and a ton of poise damage. We have both with Craigblade, the Rotten Great Axe, Golem Halberd, in heavy affinity, of course, Gravebird chest piece, Claw Talisman. We have the Blade of Mercy Talisman. We have the Bull Goat Talisman to get us to 52 poise. We have the Great Jars Arsenal. For tiers, we have the Green Burst Crystal tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier, Golden Vow, Flame Grip Strength, Blessings Boom. Of course, as usual, the stats are on the right. And next up on here, we're going to keep having fun. Fire and Frost works. Well, yeah, kinda. So Fire and Frost amongst the community has been one of the most impractical ways to play because you technically get more damage by using the debuff for Frost in most cases, and being able to proc multiple status effects as the resistance goes up throughout the fight can be really difficult. But in this case, we've grabbed two Beastmen curved swords and went for a strength build that uses Fire and Frost, Fire Affinity, Flaming Strike, and of course a Chilling Mist one as well that does Fire and Frost damage. And honestly, this one does a ton of damage. In 2 jumps, we got over 18,000 damage, 8,000 damage there. It does stack up fairly well. Now, of course, if you're running Bleed and Frost, you're technically going to get more damage because you'll be able to take advantage of that debuff. That's the big thing. The debuff that you get, the boss will take increased damage, and you'll be able to stack up even more. I think that's people's point when it comes to Fire and Frost. But it does work. There's really nothing wrong with it if you find it as a fun playstyle. I say this in all my videos, but honestly, play the way that's the most fun for you. And in this case, this build's pretty fun for a jump attack build. It's cool aesthetically as well because you have the whole fire and the cold vibe too. I don't know, I like this one. We have 2 Beastmen curved swords, one in cold affinity with Chilling Mist, one with Flaming Strike and Fire Affinity. We have the Clawmark Seal, Gravebird chest piece, 2-headed Turtle Talisman, Listens Prosthesis, Rotten Wing Sword Insignia, Claw Talisman. For our tiers, we have the Thorny tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier, Golden Vow, Flame Grip Strength, Blessings Boon. Stats are on the right, and honestly, I think I recommend this one. And next up here, we have an all-style build. This is built around, well, style. In this case, we're using the Starline Sword. In the offhand, we have the Moonveil. This is going to be a very flashy build, switching between two Ashes of War that look really cool and throw around a whole bunch of magic beams, which is pretty epic. And then, of course, I picked an armor set I like as well. I'm not the best in terms of armor sets and style, but I like this one. It's pretty cool looking, and it does break 51 poise. With that said, the Starline Sword is from the DLC. It's a katana. It's very flashy. Doesn't do an insane amount of damage, but it does pretty good damage overall. Scales relatively similar to Moonveil, little less on the magic side, but you can run them both with similar stats. As you can see there, the entire Ash of War animation did about 6,000 damage, and then we ended him with the dual move set. Moonveil, though, switching between these two, like, you got the flash there, you're going up in the air, it's pretty cool looking. You switch back to Moonveil all of a sudden, throwing beams as well. I don't know, I felt like this one was all style. It's a lot of fun, too. We have the Starline Sword plus 10, Moonveil plus 10, and he's still for buffs. We use, well, you can check out the armor set there. It's 53 poise. Rotary Sword Insignia, Melissen's Prosthesis, Magic Scorpion Charm. We have the Shard of Alexander as well. We have the Thorny Tier, Bloodsucking Correct Tier, Golden Vow, Flame of Strength, Blessing's Boon. You can see we hit 40 Dexterity, 40 Intelligence, 60 Vigor. Stats are on the right. And next up here, we have a Black Steel Poise Breaker build. This uses Black Flame's Protection and Golden Vow to give you decent defense and a decent amount of the Tree Sentinel set. Mentioned this in a video recently. It's one of the best armors for the weight in the entire game in terms of defense. And then it uses Endure, of course, in Sacred Affinity this time with the Black Steel Greathammer for fantastic AR. I think it's like around 850 or so. And does a ton of posture damage while allowing you to have serious defense as well. This is a really fun one in terms of just breaking bosses, doing a good amount of holy damage. Running this in Sacred Affinity is smart too because it has very good faith scaling. It's very good strength and faith weapon. Of course, in Sacred, it's going to lean faith, but overall, gives you a lot of AR. But overall, I love the fact that we get a ton of poise damage. Once again, that hammer class, anything hammer related is going to be really great at breaking. Endure, in combination with Black Flame's Protection, is going to keep you alive as well. And we're going to get substantial amount of breaks. I think that was 2 already. And a lot of damage. A lot of holy damage, physical damage mixed in all around. This one's pretty damn good. I want to ask the audience, too, that have been following my build request videos like every week, like week to week. What do you guys think of them lately? Like, how do you feel about them and all that? Be sure to comment below. We have the Black Steel Greathammer plus 25 Sacred Affinity with Endure, Erdtree Seal, part of the Tree Sentinel set, Shard of Alexander, Sacred Scorpion Charm, Blade of Mercy Talisman. We have the Erdtree's Favor plus 2. For tiers, we have the Holy Tier, Bloodsucking Correct Tier, Golden Vow, Black Flame's Protection, Blessings of the Erdtree. Stats are on the right, and we have over 60 faith and a little bit of strength too. And next up here, we have a Coated Sword build. This is one of my favorite ones on here because I get to throw in holy incantations with this one, but I also love the Coated Sword. Coated Sword isn't just a good weapon for PvP, it's a good weapon for PvE as well, especially for the DLC where bosses take additional holy damage, and I'll tell you why. 2 reasons why. 1, it can go right through a shield, which is fantastic. The other reason, it's a really light weapon that does a ton of holy damage and has fantastic fate scaling. Between that and Cypher Pada, you really can't go wrong with either one, but I prefer the Coated Sword. I like the moveset better. Of course, it has the Straight Sword moveset, and I like the animation better overall as well. They're both fairly good, though. But the Coated Sword, definitely try this one out if you haven't, especially for DLC. Even the early and mid game for the regular game you could use this for. Of course, any of the holy stuff for the end game, base game, always going to be difficult there because Malekith and Elden Beast have insane resistances against holy damage. But for pretty much everything else, this one's going to slap and do a good amount of poise damage too. Let's jump into equipment and stats for this one. A weapon I really enjoy using. And for this, we have the Coated Sword plus 10. We have the Erdtree Seal, also plus 10. You can run incantations. We have 77 faith here. That helm will give you plus 2 faith, part of the Tree Sentinel set. Shard of Alexander, Sacred Scorpion Charm. We have the Blade of Mercy Talisman, Godfrey Icon for multi-layered Ring of Light and your incantations. For tiers, Holy Tier, Bloodsucking Correct Tier, Golden Vow, Black Flame's Protection, Blessings of the Erdtree, Elden Stars, multi-layered Ring of Light, and stats are on the right. And next up here, we have Relanna's Sword of Night and Flame. Really love this one because what we're using here is the Sword of Night and Flame we're going to start with. That's going to give you a good amount of damage. You can see there 2 uses of it. Actually, phase transition, Beast Clergyman, which is fantastic. After that, though, we then have Relanna's Twinblades, which is really cool as well. They both scale similarly, so I love putting them together here. A couple of people asked for Sword of Night and Flame. A couple of people also asked for Relanna's Twinblades. Decided to put them together because the scaling, honestly, it's not even just the scaling. The way they pretty much work together, it's fantastic because the Sword of Night and Flame can give you a little bit more range, also does magic and fire damage. And then Relanna's Twinblades has kind of a cool move set with beams and also fire damage. Really cool weapons overall, but very similar in styles of play. Very easy to fit these two together, and the Sword Knight and Flame is really light as well, so it's not going to be like an equipment load issue either. It's going to be fairly easy to run both of these, and you'll get great damage out of them. Now, are they hard to use against certain bosses like Malekith? Yeah, you bet. It's hard to get the beams off sometimes. Forgot I didn't have FP there, but you can make it work. You can do enough damage with both of these. The Sword Knight and Flame, out of these two, is going to be the better of the two, without question. I do believe it is the superior weapon, especially if you do decide to use Relanna's cameo. If you use that and you hold down the stance button and all that, of course, you're going to get even more damage if you hold it down for a second and a half. But back to this, Relanna's Twinblades, a lot of fun to use. We got some beams in at the end there and finished off Malekith. Ended up winning that fight. In a short bit here, actually very quickly, we're going to be going over equipment and stats. Highly recommend this one for fun. This is a really fun one. And of course, once again, the Sword Knight and Flame being so light, why not have it as a backup weapon for a little more range with the Magic Beam? Let's jump into equipment. And we have Relanna's Twinblades plus 10. We have the Sword Knight and Flame plus 10. We have any seal for buffs. We have 51 Poise. We have the Shard of Alexander, Magic Scorpion Charm. We have Relanna's cameo. You're going to want to hold it down for a second and a half when you can. Two-headed Turtle Talisman. Magic Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier, Golden Vow, Black Strength Protection, Blessings Moon, stats on the right. Next up, we have a build built around Miquella, and that's going to be Light of Miquella, or Light of Miquella. I always pronounce everything wrong, but anyways, back to this. This is a cool one, but the problem with this one for me is that Light of Miquella, it really just doesn't do a ton of damage. It does a good amount of holy damage and whatnot, and it can hit bigger targets, but it should do more damage. I was kind of hoping they eventually buff this. Maybe with the Tarnished Edition they will. Overall, it is holy damage, seems to be holy damage, buffed by holy damage. It does a lot of damage to bigger targets, I guess, because if they sit in it. But overall, I'm not really happy with the damage on that one. I like throwing in multi-layered Ring of Light, though, and Miquella's Straight Sword is actually really good because it has Sacred Blade on it. So for a Straight Sword, it's going to give you fantastic AR, like a ton of AR and a good amount of damage. So overall, you will have a solid build here. It's just that the Light of Miquella incantation, it needs to be buffed, in my opinion. It's one of those things that just needs a little bit more punch for how big it is and how much it takes for the player to get it. If you think about what it takes for the player to get to and get that incantation, it's a little lackluster. I kind of felt that way about Radahn swords as well, where I was like, well, they're flashy, but they could have been better for how hard that fight was, especially for the people that fought him before he was nerfed. So there's that too. But overall, this one is fun to use and you can make it work, but overall, it is one of those incantations that's just a little lackluster. Not really as bad as I would say like Elden Stars is for PvE, where it just doesn't seem to do much damage. You can get good damage out of it, but you can't get really OP or broken damage out of this one. That said, though, if you look at the animation on Light of Miquella is really cool looking. Like, it's fantastic. The animation is so cool. I mean, you go up in the sky, basically, and then you just drop down all these beams. Just too bad they just don't do enough damage. Miquella Night Sword plus 10. We have the Dry Leaf Seal. That helmet will give you plus 2 Faith, part of the Tree Sentinel set. Godfrey Icon, Flux Gamma Talisman, Sacred Scorpion Charm, Shard of Alexander, running Sacred Blade, of course, Holy Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier, Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, Blessings Boon, Light of Miquella, Multi-Layered Ring of Light. Stats are on the right. Last one on here is one of my favorites, and I think this was Justin Batty that requested this. You've been a regular on my channel for a while now. This is a really cool one, honestly, because the Guardian Swordspear is a fantastic weapon to put in Keen Affinity. Decided to use this with Spinning Weapon and then throw Electrify Armament on it. It's going to give you 800 AR and stack up a bunch of successive attack damage, physical damage, and lightning damage. On top of that, we are a Dexterity and Faith build. So we have 50 Faith or so as well. You'll be able to use Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike and get a decent amount of damage out of that too with the Gravelstone Seal. Let's check out that damage right here and now. See what we can get by casting and holding this down. And yeah, we were able to take out his phase 2 there. It's just Godric after all. But overall, really impressed with the Guardian Swordspear. Going to give you around 800 AR with Electrify Armament. And also, you can run Lightning Incantations for good damage as well. This is a fun hybrid build in terms of Dexterity and Faith. Really enjoyed this one. Lots of fun when it comes to Dex Faith and Strength Faith builds. Let's jump into equipment and stats for this one. And we have the Guardian's Keen Swordspear, plus 25 with Spinning Weapon. We have it in Keen Affinity, Gravelstone Seal, 53 Poise, Godfrey Icon, Melissa's Prosthesis, Lightning Scorpion Charm, Shard of Alexander, For our tiers, we have the Lightning tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier, Golden Vow, Hellish Fury, Blessings of the Earth Tree, Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike, Knight's Lightning Spirit, and Electrify Armament. Thanks for watching this one. I appreciate everybody that tuned in to my top 12. Amazing and OP builds, awesome and OP builds that are super fun. Hopefully this is keeping the game entertaining until the TARDIS Edition releases, which I can't wait for it. It releases at the end of August. Lost my voice a little bit at the end of this one, but yeah, can't wait for that. It's probably going to be the final major balance patch too, so that's going to be interesting to see what Elden Ring ends up being like for the future. Appreciate the members on screen. If you want to become a member, your name will be on the screen too. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.